Welcome to this episode of In the Grove. I'm Jeff Franke. Today, Sue will be talking to Marge Hart and Carol Styka from the Community Character Coalition. And then I'll be talking to Richy Sandberg about his award-winning holiday home decorations. So stay tuned and we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to the program, everyone. I'm very happy to introduce our next guest. On my far right is Carol Styka. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you.
And seated right next to me is someone very familiar to us here in the village. Many people know Marge Hart. Good to have you back with us, Marge.
Nice to be with you, Sue.
So both Marge and Carol, you come to us today representing Character Coalition.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about the history. Carol, do you want to run with that first? What is the history of Community Character Coalition?
I think Marge would probably be better because
Did
she's
she?
been around character longer than I have.
Well,
and I
then
am
let's
a
give it-
character.
Yeah, well, I know
that's
that.
what
you know.
Yes,
You
but-
are very endearing. Many people in the community are absolutely loving that Marge is
Actually,
here today.
it's been around for close to 20 years.
That long.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
How did it start?
well, it's actually based out of California. And a couple of our members went out and went through some training out there. And then when they came back, District 59 brought them to the various schools. So they were not teaching that year, but going around and explaining what the character counts was all about and the 6 pillars of character: the trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship.
Why does everything that's going on in our news come to mind now as you
I
mentioned
know.
the 5 characters of
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what we strive for. Do most communities have this? Are we an exceptional community that we do?
There are other communities that have this.
Or versions of it.
Yes.
But we, I think, are
Some
one
of the
of the ones.
some school districts now have a different version of it. You know, they don't go with character. The trustworthiness, respect, responsibility. They have other, but they basically mean the same thing.
So do we teach this and promote this then within the schools so there's an awareness with the students?
Yes.
And some
Yes.
of our people actually go after school to the Park District's Kids Club program at the 5 different schools in Elk Grove. And we do activities with them to enforce
These-
the various pillars.
I know we see banners down Bysterfield at a certain time of year promoting.
Right. And all of the schools have the pillars in their school, like usually in their multi-purpose room
sure,
or
to
their
remind.
cafeterias to remind the children of the
What is
character.
your role in this organization, Carol?
Currently, I am the secretary,
I'll keep you busy.
and Marge and I are co-chairs of our big event, the Carnival.
Well, let's talk about the big event.
Yes.
When will that be taking?
That is taking place on February 23rd, and it will be from 5 to 7:30, 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. over at the Pavilion. And the whole purpose of the event is to encourage organizations service organizations, okay, to come and give, it's an opportunity for all of the village to come out and see all the various service organizations
that
we
we have.
have in the village and encourage them to either just find out about them or to join them and,
Looking for more volunteers.
more
for all these
volunteers. That's
Is
what
there
we're
a
looking
big
for.
shortage these years?
Yes.
When people are so overscheduled.
I
And
think
there's
so.
also a lot of times people don't know what these organizations
Well,
do.
that's true.
Right.
So it's a chance
I
to.
know I've even sometimes asked, what is Rotary? We don't really know. We hear of them, but we don't know of them.
There are a lot and then it also, it's kind of a twofold purpose having the carnival because we're there to, give everybody the opportunity to find out about the organizations, but it's also a fun time for the family because there are games for the children to play, and they get little prizes, and the whole event is free, including the food.
Oh, free food. Wow.
Yeah.
That ought to bring
That
people.
brings them in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Last year we had almost 12,000.
1,200.
1,200 people passed by.
1,200.
Yeah, and it's been about the same since we started.
Yeah.
Each year, 1,100.
And you receive good feedback.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really.
And you think
very
it's serving
good.
the purpose to get more people to think about volunteering?
We're hoping
Yeah.
because
That's
in the past it's been more the kids' fun games, but we're trying to impress upon organizations to, tell people what it is that you do and that you need help
That
sometimes.
we do need help. And I know a lot of organizations really are
Yes.
desperate for people to
Right.
participate so that they can keep going.
So volunteerism is the big thing this year,
Yeah.
trying to promote that.
And certainly both of you represent being wonderful volunteers. You've been so active in so many areas. Let's talk a little bit about Toys for Tots and packages for Patriots, some of the other things you're involved in.
Character Counts every year has a collection, and it's our members as well as organizations like the schools and churches will collect.
Park District.
Yeah, and it all comes to the Sheila Ray Adult Center, and on the meeting that the Marines come,
Oh.
we had so many. We had to move our tables. There was so much
Right.
toys and
So
stuff
you are
for the
making
kids.
a difference there.
Yeah,
Oh,
this year it
isn't that
was
wonderful?
so outstanding that
Great.
the guy who was
Yeah.
in charge of it sent us an email about how wonderful it was to
Isn't
have
that
so
great?
much. He's never seen anybody bring that much in.
Well,
Yeah.
that
So.
just speaks highly of all the efforts that the
Oh.
two of you and many others. How many?
No, it's
are-
not us,
How many?
it's-
No.
How many others are involved with all this?
Oh,
work,
there's
would you
probably
say?
20, 25,
5:30
yeah,
in there,
somewhere around there.
pretty active. But we're always looking for more members.
Yeah, I was just going to say, give
We
us
are
a good
always
reason. Throw out a couple
looking.
good reasons why people really want to think to join you and volunteer. What do you gain from it personally? Just that really good feeling inside.
Yeah, anytime you do something for somebody and it, makes them
Doesn't that
feel
make you
better. Yeah.
It just makes you feel better.
It does.
You're
It
making a
does.
difference.
And
Like-
there are so many different opportunities. Just because you join, you don't have to be involved in everything
Part
that
of
we
it.
do. But
Yeah.
some people in the toy drive, some people in the carnival. Well, actually, we like to have everybody involved in the carnival because
Oh,
it's
sure.
such a big event. But there are all kinds of things. The packages for Patriots is another thing that
Tell
we
us a little
just
bit about that
began.
one.
Well, that is
What goes into these packages?
it is packaged for the servicemen, okay, and each time they stress something specific that they would like to have put into the packages. So this past time, I think it was
The crystal light packages.
that's what it was, the little crystal light packages. Sometimes it's candy, sometimes
Socks.
it's socks, sometimes it's toiletries.
And it's held over at Holy
Lutheran
Spirit.
Church of the Holy Spirit.
Oh, yeah, they're very active.
And
Yes.
so they decide what goes in each package. And,
And then they're shipped to wherever these service
Yes.
men and women are
Right.
at.
Right,
And
right, yeah.
they have a wonderful feeling receiving something from home.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Well,
One thing I'd like to point out is that we have sponsors for this carnival.
oh, well, we need
It's-
to mention it.
Yeah, I mean, the reason we can give it free is because of these wonderful people who have sponsored us. And
Please tell us
the
their names.
Shen Yuen Foundation, it's the Buddhist temple down on Devon Avenue, and Gullo International, Grove Memorial Chapel, Porty Brown, the accounting
Oh, yes.
service,
Okay.
and Waste Management. They all have donated to support our carnival, and because of that, we can offer it free.
Isn't that wonderful
Yeah.
for the community?
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Been great.
review what those pillars are once again, and just give a moment to speak about each pillar.
Okay.
Trustworthiness.
Trustworthiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what would we say to define the trustworthiness that we hope for for say our children especially in trustworthiness, to know that their word is golden,
But they're not lying. Yeah.
that they can be trusted with what they say and how they act.
And what they do.
And that's impressed upon them,
Oh,
just to be trustworthy.
Respect. Respect your elders. Respect.
Respect for yourself and
Objects.
how you
Yes.
speak and
Yeah.
how you care for property.
Correct. Yeah. And then.
caring, you know.
Yeah.
And caring obviously is, you know, you're caring for yourself, but we talk about how they can care for their pets, how they can care for each other, you
Right,
know.
maybe in an effort to try to dissuade any bullying. That
Bullying.
Might, right.
Yes.
So being,
We do stress that when we talk to the children. It ends up coming up in many of the pillars, the anti-bullying. So that's a big
so we have
part.
trustworthiness, respect, and caring.
Responsibility.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, it is.
Just
Whether
being-
it's, you know, responsible for bringing your homework in, responsible for doing your chores around
And
the
the
house, that kind of thing. And then
Did we leave out
fairness.
fairness?
Yeah,
and
what do you
and
tell them
that
for
is
fairness?
always one that when they start talking about it, you know, you always hear children say, "This is not fair."
Right,
you
and
know.
that'll carry through their
What
lives.
does it
'cause
mean
when
to
you go
be
through
fair,
life,
and what areas, and how do we practice
how do you
being
handle,
fair?
how do you respond if you think something's not
Right.
fair?
And
So you actually have these discussions to
Oh, we
let
do.
them have time to talk it through.
And we have activities that go along with it so that they can practice some of these things and see how they can actually do it in their daily lives, and at school in particular, and at home.
Well, you know, it's a wonderful thing to have that emphasized here in our community. You know, it just helps to add to character of you know, our residents, and it's a wonderful thing that the two of you volunteer to participate and make this happen. So I hope this upcoming carnival will just exceed the last and meet all your expectations,
so.
and that all of this will be held deep within for the students especially, and they carry it with them throughout their years, and maybe in the future they'll become the volunteers and continue this type of activity for others.
Right.
It's always good to see Marge back on
Oh,
stage
thanks.
with us. You know, you are missed over at the Hattendorf.
Oh, am I?
Oh, yes,
I think
everybody.
they have a very
loves-
nice
yeah.
Leader over there.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, for your history, you know, and the respect. Let's talk about the respect that people have for Marge here in the community. And for Carol, thank you so much for taking your time to be here today.
I'm
And you know,
very
just
happy
thank
to
you
do
for
it.
the time that you volunteer.
Well, it's good, and it's because of Marge that I'm involved.
She has that way to attract
Yes.
people. Yes, you will.
I
She's a magnet.
Retired, and then, you know, she said, "Oh, why don't you come to one of these meetings?" And
Yeah, you need to
Here
do
I am.
something, you know, in retirement years to feel
oh,
that fulfillment.
definitely.
So, well, we're glad both of you have taken this on. And
Thanks.
best
Thanks
wishes.
for having us.
Yeah, we're
Really,
happy you were here.
appreciate it.
And we will be right back with the rest of the program.
Welcome back. My guest today is Richy Sandberg. He's an Elk Grove resident who's won quite a few awards for his holiday decorating. Welcome, Richy.
Hello, welcome.
We'd like to go through what's one of the major awards you just won with your house
I
decorating?
just won the Daily Herald Overall Awards, which was this contest of anybody just logging in with an email account and then just voting for your house. So that was huge this year.
Now, have you entered this before?
Yes,
or-
yes.
okay.
As a matter of fact, last year I did, and last year's award was the Editor's Choice. So I won the Northwest Suburbs of Cook County So I won the Cook County Award for the Editor's Choice last year, the Daily Herald. So this year, we spiked it up a little bit, and then look, we wound up winning the overall award, so that was cool.
Now, does somebody have to enter you, or do they just go around and look for houses that are all decorated?
Actually, you can enter yourself, or somebody could enter you in it.
Okay.
I just went on the internet and did it myself.
Well, no, why not?
And then I just did a lot of PR, and put it up there on the internet. I'm like, if anybody wants to vote and they can, that'd be great.
Okay.
And people did, so that was good.
So it's not a random where the Daily Herald's driving around looking for people's life. They have to have your address in case anybody's interested in doing this. They need to sign in.
Yeah, they have to, at least, as long as you upload everything yourself and put everything on the internet, as long as they have all that information, and if you do get the most votes, then they have all that info, and then they come by and then they interview you and take photographs with you, of course.
Okay. Now, there's another award you won, and I think there's a business out there that's really happy that you're doing this.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain what that is?
Well, so this year, the Lions Club in Elk Grove Village, they just they had their own contest, and we entered as well. So that, again, that was one of those that you would write in and say, okay, I want to put my house in it, just to see what would happen. And there was 5 homes, I believe, and we won the Electric Company Loves This House Award.
Okay.
So that was pretty big too for us the same year.
So do you get Christmas cards from ComEd, or
no? Actually, it's kind of interesting you say that. You would think with all the stuff I had on the house that the bill would have been huge, and ComEd would have been like, thank you, for doing that. But the secret is just using LED lighting, and
so
it saves you so much money.
Isn't it?
Yes, exactly. I couldn't do that. What I did now, probably back then, I'd probably be tripping breakers and everything else using in-can lights. So.
Oh yeah. Well, like we talked about a little earlier, I had all those old lights out there. I had the C9s. I must have had over $120 per month extra.
Oh yeah. Mine.
Just using that.
I'm so thankful that my bill doesn't spike that much. It's like $20-$30, believe it or not. Again, you just got to use all LEDs now, and that's the secret. That's the tip I can give to people to save some money during Christmas.
Okay. Well, I'll let you decide if you want to give your address out where you're at, but. How do you start the preparation? When do you start?
So this year, what I did was the day after Halloween, literally like that weekend, I think it was like November 2nd or 3rd, I was outside already putting lights on the gutters and around all the windows and the doors and some of the other windows, and I started pulling stuff out of the attic and getting stuff ready to go in storage. And I had neighbors coming down the sidewalk, and they thought it was nuts. One neighbor next door was walking her dog. She's like, "You're not turning those lights on now, are you?" I'm like, "No. I got to prep because there's so much that I have to do, and I only have so much time I can do it. That the earliest I can start, the better."
Okay, so started the end of October, 1st of November. And,
yeah.
Do you have everything set up like by Thanksgiving, or do you still go into?
Yeah, so what I did this year was I had some vacation time too, so I took some from work. I had about a week or so off. So all the way through, and my goal was to set up everything by Thanksgiving. So I did. And then we had a snowstorm, so I thought I'd go on the roof. After Thanksgiving, I'd do the outline of the roof and do more of the roof and put some more lights on there. And then we had a snowstorm, and then I couldn't do anything else. But then weeks after, so like the 2nd or 3rd week of December, I was still outside just putzing around going, I had an idea, I want to see if it works, and I'd put some extra stuff on the house, and I think it did work, but, again, you still plan, you still do it, but you'll still do more later on in the season, like you're like, oh, this would be a good idea, I'm just going to see what happens.
So every year you add on, add something new.
Yes.
Now, do you do the back of the house too?
No.
Or it's just more for anybody driving by that
Sure.
kind of?
Yeah, absolutely, just do the front of the house, make sure that's the brightest spot.
What made you get started in doing this? Why did you want to decide to decorate your house?
So as a kid, like some parents, my parents took me to see homes. One of them, I remember going to Candy Cane Lane in Roselle.
Right.
I think that was one that a lot of local remember going to. So I was always fascinated by blow mold Christmas decorations, the plastic light ones, because for me, it was magical seeing like all the lights, but seeing those on the lawn. Now, I give credit to people who do the light displays with all the computers and synchronizations, but for me, it was always, if I saw the little figurines on the lawn, and the lights, it just, for me, it was magical as a kid. So I always wanted to do it. And I told my mom, I said, I'm going to do this one day. And she's like, oh yeah, go ahead. You're not doing it at our house. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. They're like, we're not paying our electric bill. And I'm like, okay. And so when I got my own home, I said, I'm doing it. I'm taking all the decorations we gathered as a family. I picked a lot of them up myself along the way, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I'm hoping the way that I did it, I'm hoping more people that come by, they feel the same magic I did as a child, and they see it at our house too.
I see that in neighborhoods where people start to do more lights. I think we're seeing more and more of it now, where I think it tapered off for a while, but now people are starting to do a lot more, not just put a couple lights in a tree, but more the front of their house and all. And I notice it in areas where people like you have done, quite an arrangement, and people know that people are coming through their neighborhood now, and they figure, well, why don't we get involved in this?
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, I mean, as soon as we set up our display, it was kind of funny because we were the only house nearby that was bright, and you could always tell it was our house, and you didn't see anybody's lights on. There was maybe a house or two down the street, but as soon as we did that, and there was more traffic that came through our block. We noticed our neighbors across the street were putting up stuff, and then 2 houses down from them, all of a sudden the lights came on in their house, and it was just like, oh, okay, so maybe we started a trend. I don't know, but now the neighborhood's a little brighter with the few houses that we have in this one bunch. So at least it gives other people an opportunity to see some more homes.
Well, it's nice, and was the same. My parents used to drive us through Chicago, where some of these businesses would get lit up like that. This is much longer than you did.
Yeah.
But that's what made me get involved in something like that. And now your generation doing that. And I see a lot of younger people driving around at night saying that they're going out to look at lights. They're driving their neighborhoods. People are doing more festival things, like even for Halloween and things like that. Mm-hmm. But I really appreciate that you guys are continuing it on. It's something I think all of us remember as kids growing up, and somebody's continuing it on. I do have to ask, though, I mean, it's got to be a pain in the butt to try to run electricity to everything.
Oh boy, my lawn is littered with extension cords everywhere. It's a mess. I even told our mail person, like, please do not walk on the lawn. You will drop, you will trip and fall. So don't do it. But it's actually pretty simple. I mean, once you get all the LED lighting, you get, the lights are great. You just run part of your yard in the front on one breaker and run the other on the other breaker, and that goes to my back of my house. So it's pretty simple to run. I never trip anything. So it's actually not that bad.
Have you changed your electrical box, or you still have the old
No,
dial-in?
No, we have breakers.
Fuses.
So it's
Oh,
actually
okay.
It's not too bad. It's just like I said, one of them is on its own thing. So I was like, that's pretty cool. And then we had an electrician put it on another. So now we have 2 separate breakers from everything in the house.
Gotcha.
So then I can run as much as I can within 15 amps on each. So not too bad.
Do you have to diagram everything on how you're going to do it, so you run the wires, or is it just old hat because you've done it so long?
It's a little different. I mean, for me, it was like, okay, if I can picture how I'm going to set everything up, then I know, okay, so this part of my yard I can run to this side, and this side of the yard I know I can run it to the back of the house. And that's how I picture it. It's kind of like a diagram, but as long as I can picture what I'm doing, then I know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to run the electricity so that everything is even and I don't overload any circuits or anything in the house.
I can just see, you're trying to watch TV or something.
Yeah, something happens. Thank goodness nothing has happened yet. I've been able to sit comfortably in our home watching TV with a tree on and then everything on outside. Nothing's tripped yet. So the retro category, what was that? It was last year's category from the Linus Club, and they did the same thing. It was another Elk Grove local, Elk Grove Village contest, and they gave retro. And I asked, why is retro? I mean, it's great. You acknowledge that's awesome, but why retro? They're like, because you have the retro old school Christmas decorations. I'm like, well, that's the stuff I remember, so I wanted to do it. I was like, might as well do it.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's good category. Now, do you have a Facebook page?
I do, yes. If anybody wants to go on Facebook and follow us, they can go to facebook.com/ the Sandberg Christmas display, and they can follow us all year long. I sometimes put updates and little nice, little videos and stuff from previous years up there, and they can watch and follow there too.
Do you have a video of with the music?
Yes.
It's on, or is it a YouTube, or is it on your Facebook?
The Daily Herald, when they did the interview with me, they took a video. So the one guy was in his car and he just drove by, and you see him with his camera driving by the house, and the music is playing in sync. So you can watch that video. It is on my Facebook page.
Okay, so if somebody's interested right now, they can, obviously we're done with Christmas, but next
Yeah.
year you're planning on doing it, but they can see what you did and kind of make a note to drive by next
Yeah,
year.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so the question is, will you be back in 2019?
I will.
Okay.
I'm going to have to do a little bit more. There may be, some stuff that we're doing with our families and everything that may try to keep me out of the game, but I'm definitely going to be back. And I've got more I'm going to do next year. If that sounds like I could do more or I can't, there's nothing else you could do. Well, there is. I've got some stuff I've already planned out already, so we'll see what happens next year.
Well, not only the people in Elk Grove know about this, but anybody who's landing in O'Hara probably can see your house.
Yeah.
far away.
I mean, the planes that fly overhead all the time. You live in Oak Grove, you know how it is.
Oh,
you
yeah.
hear planes every 5 minutes. Yeah, they'll probably see in the house.
You're that house.
As long as nobody lands on the lawn, I don't care what happens.
Well, I thank you because I grew up with all those lights, and it's nice to be able to drive around at Christmas time and see, these great displays. So, thank you for that, and I look forward to seeing your decoration in 2019.
You're welcome. You're the reason why I keep doing it and why we want to keep doing it. People love to see it. We want to do it for you guys. So,
Well, thank you again for coming by and explaining it.
Yeah, you're
look
welcome.
forward to seeing your display next year.
yes, thank you.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
My mom and dad age is hard. I worry about their financial decisions.
I don't know where to turn for advice.
For resources, tools, and self-directed courses, visit smartaboutmoney.org, a non-commercial organization focused on your financial success.
Welcome back. I'd like to thank our guests today, Marge Hart, Carol Styka, and we look forward to the Carnival of Exceptional Character, which is February 23rd. Also, I'd like to thank Richy Sandberg for coming in. Those wonderful awards he won for his house decorating, we really look forward to what he's going to do next year. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on In the Grove.